File this story in the "This is so insane, Anthony must be making it up" file. Eddie Vedder just reconnected with a young fan from 27 years ago in this absolutely absurd story that we got from a news outlet in the Netherlands where this all sort of took place. I'm looking at their pictures in the studio. Eddie Vedder and this young lady, Valeska Custers, who recall an evening together 27 years ago at a Pearl Jam show. It's kind of hard to believe that 1993 was 27 years ago. That hurts. I get like a chest pain, like right here, thinking about that. It feels like 5 minutes ago. It really, really does. Here's what happened. Last weekend, Eddie Vedder was doing a show over there. And in the middle of the gig, he stops and he goes, "I remember a girl who gave me a ride home from a gig once back in the 90s. And her hair kept flicking against my face because I was on the back of her bicycle, her back of her brother's bicycle," he said. And he goes, "Is that young lady here? I am almost certain that I would recognize her face." She wasn't there. But this newspaper, Het Partool, I know I'm butchering that. I apologize to all the people of the Netherlands. My apologies. I don't have a handle on my own language. You can't expect me to have a handle on others. So this newspaper heard about that, and they wrote the story. Who reads the story but this young lady, what's her name? Valeska Custers. She reads the story, finds out about it, gets in touch with the paper, and word got back to Eddie Vedder about all of this. He invites her down to a show, and they reconnect. How nuts is that? It's just a crazy story. What's really bizarre about it, too, is she didn't even go there to see Pearl Jam. She went there to go see the opening act, which is a band long forgotten now by the name of CPU, or City Pig Unit, which is what I think we're going to rename this show. It's going to be the City Pig Unit show with Anthony. Sounds a lot better than the morning show. At least it's a little bit more complicated. When you hear the morning show with Anthony, you're like, whatever. When you're like, what is that show called? The City Pig Unit show? That's bizarre. I got to tune into that. She recalls that back in 1993, Eddie Vedder was extremely shy, approaching her, though, backstage and asking, "How do you like my new tattoo?" She told him that she liked it. He was extremely shy, but she also said that she felt a connection with him. This is where it gets a little uncomfortable for me. Smidge uncomfortable. This is where I'm going to go home and I'm going to put my wife under the hot lamp and be like, "Have you ever hung out with rock stars before we got together?" Here's what happened. So they go to the show. This is back in 93. They go to the show and they talk backstage. They wind up meeting at this cafe in the Netherlands. They have this conversation for hours, right? She offers to call Eddie a taxi back to his hotel. He turns around and goes, "Do you have a bike?" She recalls that he just wanted to ride on the back of a bike. So she grabs her brother's bike. They proceed to ride through Utrecht, which is a city in the Netherlands, which, by the way, is gorgeous. I just looked at some pictures. Phenomenal. In fact, I just emailed my wife. I'm like, we have to go to Utrecht. Look how beautiful this is. It's like one of those like cafes by the canals of the city. Like everybody rides a bike. Super beautiful, like old school Amsterdam kind of thing. So they proceeded to ride through the city, stopping occasionally to take some photographs. While on the back of the bike, Eddie held her backpack. After they exchanged goodbyes, Eddie went back to his hotel, not realizing he had taken the backpack with her. Fast forward to today. She's 49, mother of 3. She attempted to reconnect with Eddie Vedder over the years, she told the paper, saying, quote, "I have thought about it so many times, but I didn't know how I would arrange it. It would be great to meet again. He kind of feels like my soulmate," she told the paper. See, this is where I'm starting to feel for Valeska's husband. Whoa. What is all this soulmate stuff? Hang on a second here. You got to admit, it's a crazy story, though. I just feel bad for the husband. Totally getting left out of this one. So Eddie finds out after what he said that the newspaper put it out there. She reads it. She contacts the newspaper. They write another piece about it. Eddie gets wind of the second story and invites her out for a show in Brussels. Also invited the husband. Still awkward. Still uncomfortable. I'm just saying, imagine you're the husband in this scenario. You're kind of like, well, what am I doing here? Feels weird now. Anyway, the husband went. It was very nice. They took a photo backstage. Eddie supposedly did instantly recognize her, saying, quote, "You have the same smile." Vedder revealed to Custers that he had attempted to return her backpack over the years. He said, and I quote here, "I made you write down your address in order to do so. I'm not sure if I still have it now, but I kept it for years," he remarked. Isn't that incredible? He kind of owes her for the backpack. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to tackle some of the unimportant parts of this story, but it feels like there was like a red vinyl shirt in there, from what I understand in the article. That's kind of important. You know, you get those vinyl shirts, they're comfy. You tend never to, get rid of those vinyl shirts. Let's not lie to one another. That's not what the Morning Show with Anthony is all about. We all have that vinyl shirt that's at least 25 to 30 years old in our closets. Some of us, speaking of Father's Day, which just passed, got them from Dad. You just, oh, this is Dad's vinyl shirt. I'm going to hold on to this for a second. Did I say vinyl shirt? Flannel shirt. Whatever. Remember that part where I said I didn't have the handle on my own language? That's how crazy is that story? He shouts her out randomly in a show. They write about it. She sees it. She responds. They write about that in the paper. He hears that. To me, this is a romantic comedy just writing itself. With, by the way, not to ruin anything, but bad news for Valeska's husband. He's, tends to kind of fall out of favor in this scenario. I've seen these films before. It never ends well for the husband in this situation. Poor 3 kids. I'm just saying. This has got Nancy Meyers written all over it. This is a Nancy Meyers film if I've ever seen one. It's just crazy. Combination Nancy Meyers, Richard Linklater. Somewhere in that Nancy, Richard. I'd love to get those two together, by the way. I think that would be amazing. All right, so there's your crazy Eddie Vedder Pearl Jam story for the day today.